We are going to be crossing live to our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, and cameraman Kwazi, who's on the scene, where police are still looking and hopefully retrieving the wreckage of the car belonging to the three officers whose bodies were found earlier this week. We cross live to Chriselda now for an update.
All right, a very good afternoon to you from the N1 at the Hennops River. And this is where it was initially believed that the vehicle that the three police officers whose bodies were found in the Hennops River was found. And at this particular stage, we understand that possibly the vehicle that the police officers were traveling in might have been found. Just take a look here towards this direction. We have members of the rescue team. The rescue team here, we're just trying to move back just a little bit as we see these rescue teams trying to pull parts of this tow truck. And this is an ongoing operation at this particular stage where it's believed that possibly the vehicle that the police officers were traveling in has been found. This crane, you would recall a little bit earlier on, Juliet, had been at another location where the divers yesterday had felt a heavy metal underneath the water stuck in the debris. And with that was when they decided to begin or resume the search at a different location this morning. Just take a look at the visuals that we're showing you now. This heavy metal rope is now also being pulled from this direction here. Just going to try to move a little bit out of the area where I am, as the operation itself, if you take a look at what is taking place here, it seems to suggest indeed that there is something indeed that has been found. So possibly, as you would see on our screen, possibly the vehicle that the police officers were traveling in has been found. And now, Juliet, let me just take you through. This is the area where initially the families, you would recall, also were brought to this scene, and it's believed that that VW Polo that the officers were traveling in had rammed off the N1 here in Centurion and had basically gone into these waters that you are seeing here. Now just take a look there. Some of the police divers, some of the rescue teams are inside the water. They seem to have made sure that they are able to tie whatever it is that they found. Just take a look. You see this rope right here. Juliet, stay with us. This is unfolding at this particular moment. Here, this metal rope is now being pulled by one of those divers there. And there's a huge possibility that whatever it is that they have found will be coming out right from this area where we are. But I understand that they're exploring different areas at this particular point. You see where the divers are that are standing and holding the rope there. It could possibly be pulled out from there, or because this tow truck that has been brought in. Juliet, I'm going to ask you to stay with us for just a little moment. You will see in just a few seconds, this diver has been pulling this heavy metal rod towards that area where the divers are inside the water. And that heavy crane is the one that was used a little bit earlier on to try and search in that area, but all that they got at that area, Juliet, they tried to remove they tried to remove a tree which they believed had been a barrier to where they had been searching. My colleague Kwazimanzi will now show you. Take a look there. Here it is. They are pulling that metal rod from the crane towards that area where it's believed the divers who are inside the Hennops River, as you can see now, we've just moved just a little bit closer as well. And that is where, at that particular location, we believe that they've managed to tie up what it is that they have found there. So, Juliet, this is going to be a developing story in the next couple of moments, because possibly we understand that that vehicle that the 3 police officers were traveling in has been found here. We will, of course, speak to police at a little bit of a later stage, but with all the heavy-duty machinery that's been brought in here, it is quite clear. We'll just take a look, my colleague Kwazimanzi as well. I'm going to ask him to point down for us. And more of that has been thrown down for the rescuers or the search team that are now down there. More members of the search team have now joined in to ensure that what those police divers have found there is brought up to the surface. So now remember, at the place where we had been searching much earlier on today, after the police divers had come up from that area that they'd been searching, when we spoke to police, they did indicate that there had been, or there was an expectation that since they did not find anything there, because these waters, these are moving waters, that what they detected yesterday, which was the heavy metal, could have moved from the area which it is. These waters obviously quite strong, and even stronger, you would recall at the time that this incident is believed to have happened, we also had very heavy rains in the Johannesburg, Pretoria area. So the Hennops itself had been flowing quite heavily at the time. So hence they've had to widen their search. They've had to widen their search to different areas, but it certainly seems at this particular point, the vehicle itself has possibly...
As you can see there, our senior SABC reporter Chriselda Lewis on the scene, where they are trying to bring up what they believe to be the wreck of the car the deceased police officers were travelling in